Hi guys, and welcome to competition 14 of the Dream Drive competition. I'm Benita Billings and I'm the independent legal representative who oversees the judging. Today we've had the privilege of working with 5 esteemed judges who've all done their individual picks and have carefully determined where they believe the picks and coordinates need to go. I'll go through each of the judges individually as a starting point. If you could introduce yourself and just give us a bit of your professional background and your experience in the football world. So if we can start with Shaun Bartlett. Hi, Shaun.
Shaun Bartlett, former professional footballer and coach as well, and now also a soccer pundit.
Amazing. Thanks, Shaun. Moving on to Janine van Wyk. Hi, Janine. Okay, whilst you try and mute yourself, we're going to just move on there to Matthew Booth.
Great to be back with you. My name is Matthew Booth, ex-professional footballer, currently pundit for Supersport and involved in the artificial grass industry.
Amazing. Thanks, Matthew. Moving on to Tinashe Shingai. Hi, Tinashe.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tinashe Shingai Mukanda. I am a performance analyst for the South African Football Association with the different age groups and for Mamelodi Sundowns.
Thanks, Tinashe. Then, last but certainly not least, Thalea Smidt. Hi, Thalea. Nice of you to join us today for your first judging.
Hi, everyone. Thalea Smidt, Banyana Banyana International and UCT central midfielder, currently playing in the Hollywood Super League. Thank you.
Thank you. And then just moving back to Janine van Wyk. Janine, are you winning there? Oh, yes, looks like you're winning. If you could just give us your professional background and experience in the football world.
Yes, former professional player and currently coaching in Sweden and as an assistant coach and own a football club called JVW.
Amazing. Thanks, Janine. We will be starting with Shaun Bartlett, but we're just going to wait for Janine to confirm that she is back on. Okay, so moving on to Shaun. You selected 2x2345 and y1319. What was your reasoning for those selections?
I think firstly, if I look at the guy in the red bib, his eyes, where it's focused, it's upwards. It doesn't look like it's too close to him because in the eyes itself also you will have a little bit more wider, I think, scope. And then the guy in the yellow shirt, one of his eyes is towards the area above the guy with the red bib. So he looks to be a little bit more aggressive, meaning that the ball is not in his side. He wants to win the ball, where the guy in the red bib feels a little bit more comfortable of winning it. So hence I went above the guy with the red bib, but not too close to him.
Thanks, Shaun. Then moving on to Janine. Okay, Janine, you just have to unmute yourself if you can. Yes. Yeah. Excellent. Thanks. So you selected X2340 and Y1136. What is your reasoning?
Well, looking at the two bodies of the players, I think they are still very grounded. I think they still looking to challenge for the ball aerially. It could have been a bounce ball and the ball's descending towards the two of them. And it happened to be more towards the player in the red bib, and the player leaning with a yellow jersey leaning towards the player in the red. I think it's just located above the player in the red bib. But I think in this case the ball's being slightly higher as it is about to descend, and the player hasn't really, or both players haven't really elevated their jump as yet, and therefore I think the ball is located at this point.
Thanks, Janine. Moving on to Matthew Booth. So, Matthew, you selected X 2323 and why 1004? What is your reasoning?
Yeah, very similar to Shaun and Janine's way of thinking. The player in the red bib gives us a good vertical line upwards. It's just a case now of deciding on where the player with the yellow shirt sort of intersects. So I thought that was a good area. I think looking at the two players' faces as well, there's not really much of a grimace on either of their faces. So I kind of went with the midway point as to the height of the ball. And that was my sort of way of thinking in that regard.
Thanks, Matthew. Moving on to Tinashe. Tinashe, you selected X2073 and Y847. What is your reasoning?
Well, I looked at a couple of things. First and foremost, the distance from the ground, it still looks like they're just getting up off the ground. The guy in the red bib looks to have the advantage because it looks like he got up first. And the guy without the bib is still trying to attack the ball. But one thing that I also looked at as well is the contact of the two guys. They haven't reached full contact, which suggests to me that the first thing that they're focused on is trying to get full advantage, which is why I put the ball in more a central position, because it suggests to me with both their dominant arms, so the right and the left respectively, that both of them are still going for the same spot, which in this case would be the central channel. And the distance, because of how their eyes are, they're still a little bit wide. It suggests that they're looking far and not too close to their heads, and that's why I put it that high, because it looks like they're still looking within the distance. So that was my criteria in picking my spot.
Thanks, Tinashe. Moving on to Thalea, who's our final judge. So you selected X2293 and Y1132. Do you want to give us your reasoning?
Okay, so basically my decision was firstly guided by the eyes of the players. And the guy in the red bib seems like he's looking up in a straight direction, whereas the guy wearing yellow without the bib looks like as if his eyes is slanted more towards where the guy in the red bib eyes are. And then basically just the guy in the red bib looks a bit more relaxed, so he seems as if he is trying to make a jump straight, whereas the guy wearing yellow seems as if he is moving towards the guy in the red bib. And they don't look as if they're much off the ground, just basically looking at how relaxed the guy in the red bib seems. And I don't make it too high and not too low, because they seem as if they just a tiny bit off the ground and not still on the ground. So I think that's what guided my decision. The guy in wearing the yellow seems as if he's trying to win the ball just based on his facial expression, the muscles of his mouth, whereas the guy wearing the red bib seems as if he's relaxed, just making a straight vertical jump. Yeah.
Thanks, Thalea. And just to clarify there, I mistakenly mentioned the incorrect Y coordinate. It's Y1332. But thank you for your reasoning. We are now going to be calculating the winning coordinates from the average, obviously, coordinates that you guys have all selected. So the winning coordinates for today are X2275 and Y1128. So if we can start with Shaun Bartlett.
Yeah, I think like everybody explained, the fact that the guy in the red bib gives us a more clear indication as to where the ball is, the eyes focusing straight upwards, and the aggression from the guy in the yellow shirt wanting to win the ball from the guy in the red bib. So I think that's a pretty accurate indication.
Thanks, Shaun. Moving on to Janine.
Yeah, I agree. I think the height of the ball or the winning coordinate is quite accurate. Having the height of the ball where the eyes are located of both players, them still being slightly grounded, haven't really challenged for the ball just yet. So yeah, I agree with this.
Thanks,
this
Janine.
coordinate.
Thank you. Moving on to Matthew.
Yeah, I think this is a fair location. If you consider the expressions on the faces, so the ball is located, at a good distance, considering the fact that they are about to jump or they're on their way down. And yeah, obviously the vertical line is also, I think, fairly correct as well. So I'm happy with that.
Thanks, Matthew. Moving on to Tinashe.
I think that's a fair position, considering what everyone has said. And I mean, you are in a panel of experts, so it is supposed to be the right spot. Also looking at the body position, the eye, where the eyeballs meet, and everything. So I think it is fairly a good pick.
Thanks so much, Tinashe. Moving on to Thalea.
Yeah, I think I would, as the previous judges said, I'd just like to reiterate that I agree with the pick. I think it's a fairly accurate pick, and just looking at it now, it seems as if they're both going to where the ball possibly is, and the representation where the ball could be looks fairly accurate. So I'm agreeing with this one.
Thanks so much, Thalea, and thank you to all our judges who have brought their expertise and experience to this competition 14. We look forward to finding out who the winner is. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Bye.
Head to Dream Drive, where your next car could be a click away.